Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Simple Chemistry. At first, I would like to make discussions based on this textbook, chapter wise discussion. This will be helpful for 8th, 9th, and 10th standard students who is following IGCSE syllabus. In this video, I am going to discuss the questions from the chapter Gases in the Atmosphere. In the exercise section, questions are given that. First question, state the approximate percentage of each of the following gases in dry air. I think we all know the answer. That answer is given in the textbook itself. Nitrogen 78.1%, oxygen 21%, argon 0.19%, and carbon dioxide 0.04%. Let us discuss the second question. A student carried out an experiment to measure the percentage of oxygen in the air by using the rusting of iron. Experimental setup is given like this. Okay. It is given in the question. The initial reading on the cylinder was 95 centimeter cube. The student left the apparatus for 2 days and final reading he obtained was 80 centimeter cube. What does it indicate? Initially, the measuring cylinder contained 95 centimeter cube of air. Oxygen from the air reacts with iron filings. The student took the reading after 2 days. Then the final reading obtained was 80 centimeter cube. At first, we want to calculate the percentage of oxygen in the air. We can write the given values. Initial reading, that means the volume of air, it is 95 centimeter cube. Then final reading, that means the volume of air after oxygen react with iron filing, that is 80 centimeter cube. Then now we can find out the amount of oxygen used up by subtracting these two values. 95 minus 80 is equal to 15 centimeter cube. So that much amount of oxygen get used up in this reaction. Then we can find out the percentage of oxygen by the equation volume of oxygen used up divided by volume of air into 100. Volume of oxygen used up, we found it before. It is 15 centimeter cube. Volume of air 95 centimeter cube. By substituting these values, we got the percentage as 15.8%. We know the actual amount of oxygen, it is 21%, but here in this experiment he got 15.8% only. So next question is, explain why the answer is not same as you had expected and how the experiment could be improved. Here the student got a lower percentage, that is 15.8%, than the actual value 21%. That means not all the oxygen is reacted with the iron filings. Actually, the reaction will take too much time, at least 1 week. But here the student kept the apparatus only for 2 days. He would get a better result if he kept it for a long time. Now let us move on to the next question. A student carries out an experiment to investigate how much gas is produced when various metal carbonates are heated. The different metal carbonates used are lead carbonate, copper carbonate, and sodium carbonate. Mass of metal carbonates used for each experiment is 1 gram. Volume of gas collected and mass of solid left at the end of the experiment are also given in the table. First question is to describe an experiment that would allow the student to collect all these data. For doing this experiment, we need a boiling tube, metal carbonate, delivery tube, and a syringe is connected through this. Then we can collect the gas and the syringe. Now we can write the experiment step by step. First, weigh the boiling tube. Add 1 gram metal carbonate to the boiling tube. Then again weigh the boiling tube with metal carbonate. Then close the boiling tube with one holed cork. Through this hole, we can connect a delivery tube and a syringe to the delivery tube. Then heat the boiling tube. Now the gas is collected in the syringe. After cooling, record the volume of gas collected in the syringe. Then reweigh the boiling tube and content. Now the boiling tube contains the metal oxide and the carbon dioxide gas is collected in the syringe. Name the gas collected. We know the carbon dioxide is collected in the syringe. Next question is to write the equation for the reaction occurring with lead carbonate. We know lead carbonate is PbCO3 gives lead oxide PbO plus carbon dioxide CO2. Now we can write the state symbol. Lead carbonate solid, lead oxide is also solid, and carbon dioxide is the gas that is collected in the syringe. Next question. Name the type of reaction occurring with lead carbonate and copper carbonate. We know on heating lead carbonate and copper carbonate decomposed. So the name of that reaction it is thermal decomposition. Next question. Explain what this result indicate about the thermal stability of sodium carbonate compared to the other two substances. Look into the table. Sodium carbonate, mass of carbonate 1 gram. After the experiment also 1 gram. That means it does not undergo decomposition. So that we can write sodium carbonate is thermally stable. It does not decompose on heating. Next, explain why much more gas is given off in copper carbonate experiment than in the lead carbonate experiment. For that we want to find out the number of moles in copper carbonate and lead carbonate by the equation mass divided by molecular mass. First we want to find out the molecular mass of lead carbonate by adding mass of each elements. Mass of lead is 207, mass of carbon 12 and mass of oxygen is 16. By adding these together we got 267. Then copper carbonate molecular mass. Mass of copper it is 63.5, carbon it is 12 and oxygen it is 16. By adding together 123.5. Now we know the mass and molecular mass of lead carbonate and copper carbonate. So that we can find out number of moles of lead carbonate by mass divided by molecular mass 1 divided by 267 and number of moles of copper carbonate 1 divided by 123.5. It is clear that 1 gram of copper carbonate contains more number of moles than lead carbonate. When a compound contains more number of moles is heated, more moles of gas will be produced. Here 1 gram of copper carbonate contains more number of moles than lead carbonate, so that copper carbonate produces a greater volume of gas. Let's move on to the next question. Use the data from lead carbonate experiment to calculate the mass of 100 cm³ of the gas. Here it is given that lead carbonate, mass of lead carbonate it is 1 gram, volume of gas collected 89 cm³ and mass of solid left at the end is 0.84 gram. Mass of lead carbonate is 1 gram and mass of solid left after the reaction is 0.84. So by subtracting these two values we will get the mass of gas collected. It is given that the volume of gas collected is 89 cm³. So that means 0.16 gram is the mass of 89 cm³ of the gas. So from this we can find out the mass of 1 cm³ of the gas by dividing with 89. Okay, so we will get the mass of 1 cm³ of the gas is 0.00180 gram. Our question is to find out mass of 100 cm³ of the gas. So we will get mass of 100 cm³ of the gas is equal to 0.00180 into 100. So that the answer is 0.180 gram. Next question. The student repeated the experiment for copper carbonate and only obtained 152 cm³. Before at first he got 194 cm³ of the gas. Now he obtained only 152 cm³. Explain two things that could have gone wrong with the second experiment to give this result. The student got a lower volume of gas than before. If the metal carbonate is not heated properly, the carbonate will not decompose completely, so that the gas produced will also be in less amount. Then we can write the first point as the student did not heat the carbonate for long, so not all the carbonate decompose. Another reason for the lower volume of gas is we can write it as some of the gas leaked or escaped out of the vessel. One more point we can add here as the student may be made mistake while reading the volume of gas. Now the last question, from this chapter is carbon dioxide is described as a greenhouse gas. Explain what this means. Before discussing the point, we want to discuss the greenhouse effect. How does it occur? The greenhouse effect occurs when ultraviolet and visible light from the sun passes through the atmosphere. This causes the warming up of the earth's surface. Then the surface of the earth radiates infrared radiation. This infrared radiation is absorbed by the greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and some of these are re-emitted in all directions by greenhouse gas molecules and results in the heating of the atmosphere. A greenhouse gas is a gas which must be able to absorb and re-emit the IR radiation. Okay, carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas because it can absorb and re-emit the radiations in all directions, which result in the heating of the atmosphere. And we know heating of the atmosphere causes the climate change. So because of different human activities, increased usage of fuels, all these things increases the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and it causes climate change nowadays. So that much about the discussion of this chapter's question answers. I hope all of you understood all these answers very well. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe my channel for more videos.